Hello again, it's Noob, and today we get to look at something really cool. I don't know about you, but I just love things in little hard cases like this. And this is a Multipick Artemis electric pick. Here we go. And the first thing you might notice about it is just its small dimensions. It's really, really, really small compared to all other EPGs on the market. Now, before I carry on, I do want to just let you know that this was sent to me by Multipick for review. It's not a paid review. I don't get paid for doing the review. They don't tell me what to say or how to say it or when to publish the video. No control like that. I don't receive any remuneration from sales of any Multipick product, but I have worked with Multipick before on various projects and probably will continue to do so. So bear that in mind as we go ahead for full disclosure. Right, let's crack on. So this, apparently they make these by hand in Germany in limited quantities, and the first batch sold out. They sell them in 4 colours as well, so you get, I think, like a green, grey, white, black, and this red, which is called Storm Red. I have to say, I didn't get to choose what they sent, but I'm really happy because I think the red looks really cool, especially against this black backdrop, because it's going to make my thumbnail look really good on the video. But that's not all. I actually generally do like the red colour. There's actually a siren outside. Don't worry, they're not coming for me. Nothing I'm doing is illegal, as you well know. So yeah, this is really, really, really compact. But it still comes with I did check, so I was like, okay, go on, tell me about this. It still comes with a 2-year guarantee on this. So still a 2-year guarantee for this very compact EPG. Now, what is an EPG? Well, basically, EPG stands for electric pick gun. You would assemble it by putting in your batteries. It says minus there. So I've got to make sure that I pop this in the right way around. Got a little rubber seal around it as well, and springs, so got to find just right. And then hopefully you can see there the vibrating tip. There's a stop here which you can tighten to limit the motion. So I don't know if you can see down there that would screw in down to limit its swing, so you can dial it into how you like. Then you choose one of a number of tips. That's the charger, all there, which it comes with loads of different tips. There you go. Some here, there's and then there's some 0.6mm ones and thinner ones there. There's all sorts of shapes, but I personally just prefer the straight ones to ones like city rakes and half diamonds. You've got loads of tension tools in here as well, so, and of course a hex key. So you can tighten everything down. I'm just going to use a standard thick tip to show you. You got an extra long one there, a whole bunch of sort of standard ones. So let me just grab a standard. Come here. There we go. And just tighten it down. Like that. Then you can see how powerful that is. You can actually feel it, really feel it on your finger if you do that. Wouldn't recommend doing that. So yeah, you can then slide it under the pins and strike on them or strike down on them and hopefully get an open. So yeah, let's do a bit of a demo, open a few locks and see where we get to. So there you go. It clearly works on a range of Euro cylinders with security pins, with pretty typical bittings. I really didn't find any problems with it. I have to say that whilst I'm not an expert in EPGs, any electric picking at all really, I found it very nice, light, easy to use and adjust. If we look at the tip for wear, there's a little bit of brass on the pick tip. I don't know if you can just see it there. It can obviously be quite brutal on the inside of locks. I wouldn't suggest doing this necessarily as a hobbyist, but you know, as a professional locksmith where you need to get into your everyday average Euro cylinder, clearly this is a very effective tool. Did I have any problems? Well, I probably used this for half an hour, just trying out on a bunch of locks. It hasn't in any way changed its power from what I can tell. It seems to be working fine. They say that this has a 2-hour to 3-hour battery life, and from my experiments with it, I'm perfectly willing to believe that. Anything I couldn't pick? So a couple of locks like this with slightly more extreme bittings, with some very, very lows and some very, very highs. That difference in using EPGs, I'm not a big expert, but I found locks with more extreme bitting where you have like these max cuts here, maximum adjacent cuts. Those were tricky with varying results depending on the quality of the lock itself. This particular lock I just couldn't pick open with the EPG. That is to be expected, by the way. I think a lot of people think that EPGs are some magic key that work on every single lock. They are not. They do require skill and patience and really, really good tension control. I've been to lock expos where companies have been demoing these, and a range of companies, not just one, and there'll be people sat there for about 10 minutes straight, just with the button held down, no pulsing, no tension control, trying to basically saw their way through the lock, it seems. That is not how you use one of these. They do require a bit of finesse. They are not like any tool, for that matter. They're not a one-size-fits-all, cure-all tool to open any single lock. What else did I find? I found that whilst it's really nice they threw in a few tension tools, and these are nice tension tools, by the way, I did raid another Multipick set for some other tension tools, which just gave me a bit more of a snug fit. I don't use a tension ring, so I like to use like something with a snug fit for these keyways, just so I can essentially just pulse the tension without the tool falling out. You're vibrating the lock a lot, like a lot with this. Another thing to make sure if you're using one of these, just general tips, is don't stick it all the way to the back where you might interfere with the back of the lock. You're just going to trap the tip. Avoid warding. So have a look at the lock. Think where this is actually going to go. It's got quite a range of movement, as you'll see. And that can be adjusted, but you actually want to get it in that sweet spot. And that's another thing. You have to get it in the sweet spot. It doesn't work straight away on some locks. You have to sort of dial it in and check where you're going and try not to hit the warding. Just try and strike down cleanly on the pins. What do I think of this? Pros and cons then, pros and cons. Pros, it's honestly just a lot lighter and easier to use. It looks like the world's biggest and most brutal electric toothbrushes in some ways, but it is, I think, really, really nice looking. It's a very nice looking thing, and every part of this just exudes like that quality and high finish. There's not a part of this that I've looked at which I don't go, ooh, that's really nice. You know, I think that some pride has been taken in putting this together and creating it, and I think it shows. Other things I like about it, I don't know whether you can tell, it's got a little sort of almost pearlescent finish, and that's because it's got a very comfortable pearlescent coating. It doesn't feel cool to the touch. It almost feels somewhat insulated. I don't know what the material is on it. It's interesting, but it actually does feel quite nice. Just think about other pros. I have not found this to be less powerful than any other EPGs that I have used either. It seems to be just as effective. It works on the same types of locks. The quality of the tip, you can see it's not bent at all in either direction. It seems to be really good as well. Like I said, you've clearly got to make sure that you're using it appropriately and correctly, and not just, you know, turning the tool once in the lock and all the positioning you need to do. But yeah, I mean, everything about this just is a nice package. Downsides, I don't want to, have things like, does it work on all locks as a downside? All EPGs work in the same way, so they all have the same inherent pros and cons. I would say as far as the kit's concerned, it has enough tips in enough different sizes to be getting on with. Probably the kit itself could contain a few more tension tools, but I suppose that really, if you're going to be buying one of these, you've probably got plenty of tension tools anyway. The big elephant in the room here is the price. This is, of course, handmade in small numbers, but it comes in, including tax, at €479 or £407 or 532-ish US dollars at the time of me making this video. Prices will obviously change over time. So this is absolutely not aimed at your hobbyist market unless you've got extremely deep pockets, and I wouldn't necessarily suggest getting an EPG anyway as a hobbyist. They're fun, but you're not going to learn too much about picking using one of these. As a professional, then obviously professionals are used to buying high quality equipment with guarantees from reputable manufacturers. So this is probably more suited to your professional wanting something which is a bit smaller, a bit easier to carry about, doesn't take up as much space, works the same. That's probably the market that Multipick are aiming for. But yes, it is a premium product with a pretty premium price, I have to say. So yeah, overall, would I recommend this to hobbyists? No. Would I recommend this to a professional? I think if you're looking for something which is as effective as your standard EPG but smaller, a bit more comfortable, and of course stylish, range of colours, then I don't know if there's anything else on the market quite like this anyway. So that's, I guess, your choice. What do you think? What do you think to tools like this, even as a hobbyist, but particularly as a professional? Have you tried on these Artemis electric picks? Let me know. I'm really genuinely interested in what you think in the comments. And of course, positive or negative, I'll leave the comments there so other people can read them as well and have your opinions. Also, I do read them all myself and reply to as many as I can. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And of course, I'll see you all next time.